I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back to the show, you guys.
We got a good one for you.
Oh, yeah.
But before we kick it off, we want to go ahead. This time we're gonna change up the order just a little bit here, and we're gonna go ahead and get the social stuff, our roll call of all the social media stuff out of the way. First thing I want to go ahead and say is that we do now have a Facebook page. I don't know why that wasn't the first one that I got made, but it wasn't. I mean we do know why. I had to reserve that name on Instagram, whereas then I wasn't too worried about the Facebook page not being.
No.
It's a little bit more niche.
Yeah, they're not going to care as much on Facebook
making sure that the username was there. Now, that being said, we do have Kentucky Fried Critics as our username, too, on Facebook. So it's literally like facebook.com/Kentucky Fried Critics.
Awesome.
No hyphens, no nothing. Just
nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
Just like Instagram. So, again, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Have both. Now we just have to work on getting the other ones the same, if we can.
Yeah.
Fighting somebody at YouTube to get that.
I'll fight him.
Instagram, like I already said, alluded to in our Facebook page, is that it's the same. So it's going to be at Kentucky Fried Critics. No hyphens, no anything, just at Kentucky Fried Critics. YouTube is where it gets a little wonky. Someone has at Kentucky Fried Critics as the youtube.com/at. But again, if you just search for Kentucky Fried Critics, you'll find us on YouTube.
Look for Commander Pop Culture's lovely face.
That's right. Let's see. Lastly, our website. Not lastly. The website links you to these other ones, so we'll mention the other ones first, then the website, because if that's the last thing you hear us say, it will still take you to these other ones.
Yeah, you can get to all of it. It's a hub.
Yeah, and so the website is shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics.
Nice.
Yeah, I got so good at that. You didn't even realize I stopped.
Yeah,
I tricked you.
I was waiting for more.
I'm getting really good at that.
Yeah, we are. Let's go on and get into our beer for this week. If you were playing on Instagram and you had any guesses, the beer was Oompah Oktoberfest from Gravely Brewing Company. Come on, that's an easy one. Oompah
Loompa?
Oompah Loompa. We're doing Willy Wonka, guys. Come on.
And of course, we're doing Willy Wonka.
Yes.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we're not going to be doing the Johnny Depp, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No.
I do realize that technically it is the one that has more in common with the book. And the title is the same as the book.
I find it heartbreaking when people are like, oh, yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm like, that can't be the first one you saw. They're like, yeah. I'm like, you poor thing.
Willy Wonka all the way.
Willy Wonka.
Gene Wilder will always be Willy Wonka for me. I do appreciate that we decided. Well, see, I had no part in choosing this beer or movie. This was 100%.
This was me.
Bo, and
I did this one.
And then when he told me that he wanted to do this, two things came to my mind. One, this is one of my favorite movies from childhood. I've watched it more times than I can count.
Yep.
I was immediately like, yes, of course I want to do this.
All day.
And then the second thought I had was, oh, Bo, that's amazing, because this is such a timely time to do this movie, because we're about to have the new one come out.
And I literally looked at him and went, what new movie?
And I spent 5 minutes trying to explain that there was a new one, a prequel coming out, and then explaining to him that it's a prequel to this one, not to the Johnny Depp. Like, it's what we want. We still have to wait to see if it's
any good.
Yeah, if it's going to be good. If it's
the premise sounded good, I'm interested to see it, but
yeah.
At the same time, I'm like, is nothing sacred? Can we just leave Wonka alone? Just let it be the perfect thing that it is.
Yeah. Well, and again, at this point, we're literally going off book to tell the story of how Wonka became a chocolatier. Like, Roald Dahl didn't write.
He didn't write any of that?
No. He writes children's books, man.
He wrote Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But I never read the book. This movie, literally, all I know about it. When the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
You do know that
out,
he wrote other books, right?
No, never read any of them.
But you know he wrote them. Okay, Bo, this is one of those moments.
So I'm about to look really stupid.
So he wrote James and the Giant Peach, Matilda.
Oh my God.
Right now,
I love all these movies.
I am so dumbstruck right now that I can't even think of other ones. But when I tell you he wrote most of your childhood, I literally mean he wrote most of your childhood.
Yeah, the movie versions. I didn't know there were books. The only books I read
and they were all his.
I read all the time. I read history books and Warhammer 40K. So But I watched James and the Giant Peach, and I love Matilda. We should do those movies at some point.
And now that you know that, does it not make more sense to you? Like think of the worlds of those, and then this world and the crazy words in those other books.
James and the Giant Peach and stuff. Yeah, I feel dumb.
You feel the connection?
Yeah, I feel dumb. These were not books I was interested in reading, so I never heard about them.
You did hear about them. You just didn't know that you were hearing about things that were books.
Yeah.
You thought they were only.
I thought they were only movies. So yeah, I feel dumb. I've been educated.
I didn't even mean for that to happen.
No,
I
it's fine. I'm not
no
mad
idea.
It's how we learn stuff.
So
but
again,
no, for real, I seriously thought they were just movies because I was a kid. I didn't look into who wrote these things. I was just like, yay, the Peach movie.
Before we go any further, though, since obviously you didn't even know who wrote the book, I want to ask, because you are a war person, you like history about war and things like that. Do you know the reason why this is called Willy Wonka and not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Think about it.
Wasn't there supposed to be a candy bar coming out with the movie?
No.
Oh.
Think harder. Why did I bring up war? And this was in the 70s. Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
So why would they not want to name the movie Charlie
and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah, that's a good point. I said Vietnam.
Yeah, but you didn't say it like you understood why Charlie shouldn't be used.
Okay, to be fair, in 71 to 75, a lot of stuff happened.
I understand. Most people hear 70s war and Charlie, and they don't need to hear other words.
For some reason, I fixated on Wonka.
You were trying to think of why they would positively want to change it to Wonka, not why they negatively wanted to get away from Charlie. So I can understand what happened.
I had it backwards.
Yeah. You were trying to think about the other reason. Because you did say, I think it's a product placement thing. You were definitely trying to think of like
business. But I was like, how does that affect war? I was like, that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah,
like,
the reason we have the 70s one being Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and not Charlie, like the book and the more current movie, is because they did not want it. They did not want an association.
No, I want a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's a whole different movie.
Yeah, so they just did not want that association. They did not want to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The movie, like always, if we're gonna get straight into it, the movie starts off. You know me, I gotta talk about the music, and this one starts with a doozy because it is just a medley of every song from in the movie. Yeah. And so, like, if you've seen the movie before, the instant nostalgia is literally built in. They want you to feel every moment from beginning to end before the movie starts. And if you haven't seen the movie before, you're just going through this roller coaster of like
these
happy,
cool,
joyous,
songs,
crazy, beautiful songs. The movie starts on this great note. And again, this is from the era of the movie is going to open with full credits. So yeah, we see everything that we.
But it's cut to all these really
it's
cool
cut to good music and
chocolate,
cool
and you're just like, man, I want some.
It's to me, this was a better way of handling credits because now we fade to black or fade to stuff nobody cares about unless it's a Marvel movie with a guaranteed end credit scene. Nobody is sitting through the credits, and even in those Marvel ones, nobody's paying attention to anything on the scene.
Nope, they're just waiting for the sting.
Back in the day, it was part of the movie. You had to sit through it. You were gonna see everything, and hopefully you might have learned and realized who some of these people were. As soon as we open from there, we see a pan shot of
kids getting out of school.
In some kind of generic American ? British ? German. Dutch ? German. I don't know. Hamlet. I'm going to use the word Hamlet because it's a good word. And I think it in my head has always been the most apt word for where they
place they live in. Yeah,
for some reason sticks out in my head as a
too big
Hamlet.
To be a village.
Right. It's too big. Exactly. There's stuff. There's but
not big enough to be a town. So Hamlet, that works. I like it. Confirmed. Hamlet.
All right. All the kids run out of what is a fairly large school for what seems to be a small.
It's a very nice school.
And they run into the candy store that is built directly next door. And I feel like zoning laws would not allow that today.
No. But that guy knows where he knows
Bill
where
the
he's doing.
Candyman?
Oh, yeah.
Bill the Candyman is legit. That man knows what's up.
He knows what he's doing. Those kids fucking love him.
Yeah, of course. They have to.
He's the Candyman.
The Candyman can.
Yes. This is where we get our first song.
Again, at this point, I want to address that. I don't know. This is a musical. Again, I don't think we're spoiling anything. I would like to believe there's nobody, even if you haven't seen this movie, you know this movie.
Yeah,
so we're not spoiling, or you've seen the new one, so you at least have an idea of what this movie is. So we're not spoiling anything.
Candy Tender Guy can sing.
The Candyman can, because he mixes it with love.
It makes the world taste good. I've had these songs running in my head all week, dude.
This is a musical. We're not spoiling that for anybody. I literally, when I think of movies that are musicals, if someone asks me, like, what's a great musical? I would never think to say this movie, even though this is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it is a musical, but you always
musical.
kind of be like, no, it's not. It's too good to be a musical.
But even though they are literal songs being sung by people as if they're not singing songs in the moment, which is by definition what most musicals are supposed to be. Like, they live in a world where everyone sings, but nobody notices that everyone sings. And that is exactly what happened in this movie.
True.
But for some
roles.
reason, in my head,
you just skip over it.
I don't think Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory equal musical. If anybody else feels the same, like, let us know. But I definitely have always...
Does this count as a musical?
Yeah, what's your
head?
thought? Yeah, like, again, I'm not worried about what conventions say, but you personally, how do you feel about it? Do you feel this is a musical? Or...
Write it in the comments.
But yeah, so to go on from there, like we said, that's our opening song. It's a good one, too. It's a great song to start with. Really, again, it sets the tone for what we're getting into here.
Yeah, it is
very
super
magical.
Happy. He's tossing candy out to the kids, and they're like, "Yay!"
So I did look this up because we had talked about this the other day. I was wrong. It was not originally a Sammy Davis Jr. song, but it was recorded by him. I was right about that. It is a Sammy Davis Jr. song.
I heard that he originally wanted to be the candy guy.
Well,
and they were like, "You're too famous."
Well, and actually, once he got the song, he hated the song, even though it was one of the biggest ones in his catalog. He hated it because he felt like it was too kid-like. And my thing is, when you hear Sammy Davis Jr. sing this song, I think of a completely different kind of candy. But that's just me. Bill the Candyman adds to this. We don't understand where we are in the world.
No, because it's like an 18th century candy shop.
Well, and not only that, but he is British, but the children in the shop are American. Yeah. It's just so hard to pin.
World, the microcosm of the whole world in this one town.
Place. That's the best I can ever come up with, because it keeps going. I may forget some, but you guys will probably hear me stop to point out when we get to another moment that's just like, so where are we?
Pans over, you see our hero Charlie,
yeah,
sad in the window because he's poor and he can't afford to go get the candy.
And apparently the Buckets are the only family that are this poor in the town. Again, like jumping ahead a little bit, but you know, like we hear later evidence, like when they're in class and stuff, that like like when he says two, everyone in the class is like,
turns around and looks at him.
So the implication being that like the Buckets are just like,
they're the only dirt poor family.
He sadly walks away from that to
the newspaper stand,
to his boss. Yes, that's right.
Payday.
So he asks Mr. Jopek for his,
which is like a Polish name, Jopek. So even more weirdness on where this hamlet is.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. I'm glad you pointed it out. So now it's not like I'm the only one who notices.
Yeah,
like I had to bring it to your attention, but now just talking about it, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, that's like a Polish name or something.
Mr. Jopek. And so he gets his first paycheck from Mr. Jopek. We see him walk past what is Willy Wonka's factory
and
the first
everything
time.
changes when he does this.
And
it's darker.
It's up till right now, like even for the opening scene, like again, we've barely talked. The movie doesn't really introduce Willy Wonka yet, but the implication from
the candy shop, the candy man, he's a nice Lord guy. Master of candy,
and he still kind of makes it seem like he's a nice man.
Because the candy man is Wonka in the song.
Yes, the candy man can, but yeah, it's so ominous,
right? As soon as they cut to it, like. Even the lighting gets darker and the music goes boom, and then the creepy handyman.
But he's actually later they tell us he's a tinkerer.
He's a tinker. Oh, so he just like fixes broken stuff and tries to sell it back to people. Okay, that's less creepy. The way it's shot is just creepy guy with like knives and hooks on a cart.
No, what's weird though is they do this scene and literally he was not behind Charlie. And then Charlie's staring at the factory. And then this man is behind Charlie and surprises him with this loud cart full of metal objects. And it's like, how did he just sneak up on Charlie? How did that just happen?
He's a ghost. He just snapped
I'm telling
into
you, this scene
existence.
that is the first moment that lets you know that this movie is not all that it
Might
seems.
be creepy.
Well, it's not all that it seems. It's not just this innocent children's movie.
Yeah.
There's definitely there's almost like two stories that go on in this
There's
movie.
an underlying sinisterness.
Roald Dahl's written version is still kind of creepy. Like this one amps up the creepy, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
At no point, like as a kid, there were some scenes that got me, but I always enjoyed the movie. You know what I mean? Like I never left the movie. By the time it ended, I was never like,
that was so scary.
yeah, I was always just like,
oh, that was cool.
It's one of my favorites. I love this.
They're little spikes of adrenaline just pumped through the movie to make you go,
And this was our first
yeah,
moment.
and this was our first one. And what does he tell him? Nobody goes in.
And nobody
ever comes out. And then just walks away. And Charlie's like, all right, that was weird. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Bye. Yep. And then we cut to his house.
His family, the first time we get to see him, it's his house. His family consists of his mom and all four of his grandparents. So it's his mom's parents and his dad's parents. His dad's gone. We never talk about it. We don't know.
That's something about him being dead.
Yeah, but we don't
like
we don't
dialogue.
yeah,
but it's not.
It's not important. We don't know why. We don't know when. We don't know anything. We just know he's not here. But all of the grandparents are. And Charlie's mom tells us not only are they all in bed right now, but they have been in bed for the last 20 years. All four of them have been bedridden for 20 years.
The bed sores, man.
I can't even imagine.
There's no
that's
way.
So insane. Charlie comes in, and when Charlie comes in, he greets each one. And as soon as he greets each one, that's when we find out that his grandparents' names are Joe, Josephine, George, and Georgina. Now, I'm not going to try to pretend like I can automatically assume that Joe and Josephine are married. For all I know, it's Joe and
funnier
Georgina.
If they're swapped.
It is. But that being said, he did go across the bed in a way that it would be really awkward if they were swapped.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they would be on diagonals from each other.
Well, they like to look at each other. It'd be your neck.
Oh my goodness, you got it.
Yeah,
you got it.
You turn your head all the time, talk to the person.
Maybe they are.
They've been doing for 20 years. Your neck would be stuck that way.
Maybe that is.
There we go. I'm a genius. I redeemed myself from earlier.
All right. But so we got this beautiful moment though with the grandparents whose names I will never forget. Now that being said, it is just a naming convention in the movie. Did you notice later? Veruca's parents are Henry and Henrietta.
Are they really? I missed that. So they just do that to everybody throughout the movie.
If you get one of them's names, if it's a married couple, generally speaking, and if you get one's first name,
I'm gonna have to watch it again now just to see. You get more proof that they're
super poor. Charlie brings home from his first day of work.
Bread.
He uses his pay to buy a loaf of bread. And when he pulls it out, his mom literally refers to it as a banquet.
She acted like when he pulled it out that she was a little afraid that she stole it.
Well, no, she almost acted mad that he bought it. And I was like, wait. So you want your child to work, but you're mad that he's bringing food home with the earnings from said job. Isn't that exactly why you sent him to work?
Yeah, this whole scene just sets up Charlie as the best kid,
as the good kid
in the world.
He is completely selfless. He will do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
He literally had a little bit of change left over, and he walks up to Grandpa Joe and he says, "This money's for you, Grandpa. This is for your tobacco." To which Grandpa says, "When a loaf of bread looks like a banquet, I've no right buying tobacco." And all I could think about in that moment was it took Grandpa Joe 20 years of being bedridden to finally realize
that maybe I should stop smoking.
Right?
Maybe I'm too poor.
It wasn't being bedridden. Like he wasn't healthy enough to get out of bed, but he needed that daily pipe.
Needed
only one pipe. Now I will say,
because the mom's just like, "Come on, Dad, it's only one." They kind of force him to take the money.
Yeah. And in all fairness, nobody get mad at us. We're not just not caring about her name. Literally, in this movie, she is just Mrs. Bucket or Charlie's mom. There is no name.
Yeah.
So we're not forgetting her, despite the fact that we know all four of his grandparents' name. We just don't know his mom's
If it's
name.
in the script somewhere and somebody knows.
No, literally.
Comment section.
IMDb, which would have it, has her listed as
Charlie's mom.
Mrs. Bucket.
Just Mrs. Bucket.
Yep, that's it.
Night comes and Charlie tells his grandpa about the creepy man who told him about nobody going into Wonka's factory. And this is where he tells him about
history. He
gives him a little history lesson on Wonka.
And Slugworth. That's the first mention of Slugworth. And first time we hear about it.
Yeah, he's bad. He steals all of Wonka's stuff, so he closed down the factory and then it opened up magically, and everybody's like, all right, cool. But like,
and nobody knew why,
who's working
how, or
in
what.
there.
Yep.
There's got to be somebody in there. That's the big mystery.
Cut to school the next day, and we finally get to meet
Science
the teacher.
class. I love the
we
teacher.
get to meet the teacher. Really? I don't like the teacher.
He's funny.
No, he's not. He's obnoxious, dude, and he treats these kids like trash.
I know, but I think that's funny.
No.
I'm a
dude.
bad person, though.
Yeah, apparently, dude. Because again, right now you're thinking about it because
He's
you're like,
the-
haha, those kids. Stop thinking about it like that. Think about if you were one of the kids.
That's fair, but he's a smart ass, and he made me laugh.
Again, though, if someone talked to you that way, you wouldn't have done
Oh,
that.
yeah, no, I'd smack him in
Well,
the
so
mouth.
this is my point. You're trying to look at this entirely differently than I would. Like, my thing is, like, if that were my teacher and I had a teacher that was that's again, you're like,
Because
he's
he
great.
messes the whole thing
Well,
up.
he's also stupid.
Yeah, he
dude.
is.
Like,
He's really
both
dumb.
this scene and the later scene. When
Oh, is
he
all his
teaches-
math wrong?
No, his math is fine, but he's a
Oh.
moron because he can't figure out
2?
two of 1,000. Again, we're skipping ahead right now, but I have to say this because again, the look right now of how hard this math isn't hard. So he even sets up 200 out of 1,000, right? 20%.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you don't know anything else, I can automatically tell you zeros.
Yeah.
Just mark.
I'm
each
really
other off.
bad at math. And
Zeros mark each other off. That gives you 20%. As soon as you go 20 means there's 2%. So then if you have 2, it means it's 0.2%. If you had, you see what I mean? Like you're just moving the zero
keep
over.
moving the zero.
As a teacher, to not know all he had to do was move the decimal one place over, trust me, that man shouldn't teach. Because again, I'm not trying to judge people for being bad at percentage math. I am judging the person whose job it is to teach
it.
someone
Yeah.
percentage math to not be able to figure out percentage math. Now, since we went off on this tangent, when we come back, we'll just mention that's the scene. We don't need to
we don't need to
roll into
rehash it.
the depths here. Now, I will give you, though, the science scene is a little bit more fun with the teacher.
Yeah.
Than the math scene is.
No, the
because
math
at that
scene-
scene, he is so
He is a
obnoxious.
dick.
He is so rude.
He is a dick in that scene. He's
this scene-
funny here.
He's a little funny. He is still rude, though, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
The way he
But-
talks, though, man. Like, I'm just saying.
If you told me you'd be the teacher and I would be the student, that'd be presumptuous and rude.
His name is Mr. Turpentine. Again, which is an outrageous name. We got a little away from ourselves, and I wanted to point out this quite the crazy
Yeah,
name, Mr.
that is.
Turpentine. He is also British, so we have another one of our how do we place where we are moments here.
He's very British.
Very British. But then in the scene, he makes the concoction, it explodes. But I want to point out when he's making the concoction, he literally says to us, a special mixture of my very own. And all I thought was Grandpa's cough syrup.
Yep.
A little bit of, like he made some moonshine.
Made him some hooch. He's using it
as
as the distillate.
once this thing exploded, my main thought was, so did this man make the same wart pimple remover as Screech and Saved by the Bell?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. That's awesome. I didn't even think of that. It's right after that everything's going nuts outside, right?
Oh, this is,
After
yeah,
it
no,
explodes?
as soon as it explodes, a kid runs to the class and is like,
Wonka's opening his factory.
And the teacher's like, oh, I don't, well, at first he was like, oh, that's amazing. Then the kid goes, it's only 5 people. Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he's like, but it's a contest. You have to be able to get
gotta go buy Wonka.
everybody has a chance to do it. And he was like, oh, I care again. Class
Yeah,
dismissed.
everybody, let's go.
And we see that at this point, at first you're like, it's crazy that this kind of hysteria took over this classroom, right? But then you remember, you're like, oh wait, but
They're
is
like down the street.
they're down the street from the factory. So you're like, oh wait, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But then we quickly see that this is this phenomena around the world.
It goes viral, 70s style.
Everybody in the world
There's
wants
Wonkas
this.
showing up at the White House, the Buckingham
Oh
Palace.
yeah, no. This scene from this moment until we actually get to the factory scene is all we see from this point on is either someone winning a golden ticket or the crazy lengths people are going to win a
get
golden
'em.
ticket. When I watched this time, I was amazed at how little of the movie is in the factory. Because if you had asked me as a child or even 4 days ago how much of this movie took place in the factory, I would have told you most of it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, at least
It is
most of it,
It is
right?
like an hour in
before we
even get inside the factory. And that's not even like inside the fun part of the factory. That's just inside the factory.
And then it's like, what, 45 minutes and then the
no,
movie's
less than
over?
that. Way less than that.
Way
Like
less than
30,
that?
dude.
Like 30?
Yeah, we'll get to that when we actually get inside the factory because I think I wrote down like exactly like how far in we were, but it's pretty crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, so the next scenes though, again, like they're so fun that when you think back to the movie,
Yeah.
you don't really think of about the fact that they take up so much of the actual screen time.
No, because you think it's like, it's a couple of minutes. It's over.
But yeah, so we just do montages. What's your favorite? Like, we don't even have to go slice by slice. We'll do slice by slice for the actual winners, but for the montages of
people,
the things that happen during the contest, what's your favorite one?
My favorite one is the one, like, it's like, I think it's the last one before, like, the contest is completely over, before they find the fifth ticket that ends up being a hoax.
We'll get there.
Is the lady who's like, she's sitting there with the detectives and they're like, they have your husband, he's kidnapped. And she's like, I'll give them anything that they want. What do they want? And they're like, they want your last case of Wonka bars. And she just sits there for a minute, and the detective's like, did you hear me? And she goes, she's just like, it's your husband's life. And she's like, how long do I have to think about it? And I rolled over laughing.
Okay, I love that one. Yep. I literally wrote down my notes this time, though. I was like, I don't know how well that really holds up, though, because how late into the contest was that?
There was only one ticket left.
Okay, you think that she hadn't opened every chocolate bar in that case already?
Yeah, it was already empty. That's why she was stalling.
Well, not even that. Like, they genuinely want you to think that she has one unopened. But my point is, why?
Yeah.
How is anybody not instantly ripping open every chocolate bar in a case? Do they want us to think that her and her husband were just gently only opening chocolate bars when they happen to want a chocolate bar? That would defeat the purpose. Why we know that would defeat the purpose? Because that was so close to the end of everything. And when Charlie finds his ticket, again, we'll go back and cover all the ticket holders. Yeah. This is important because when Charlie finds his ticket, I would say it's only one day away from
because it's like the next day.
The next day when he finds the ticket, it's the next day. So literally,
this has been going on for months.
That woman, had she not already opened every one of those chocolate bars, could have had a winner and not been able to go because she opened it after the contest was over.
Yeah.
I love that. I agree with you. That's a funny one.
Right.
It's super funny. The comedy is there, but this time when I was watching, I was just like, wait a minute. Does that hold up?
She's already opened all those.
My favorite one, though, is the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Where the guy is just like, he's like, I've got this super computer, which again, funny. I love looking at 1970s. It's a room 1970s computer. And he's like, so right now, and he just starts typing away. I'm going to ask the computer. And first, I don't remember what he asked, but he asked some general question to prove the computer was smart. Yeah. And then he was like, now I will ask the computer where I can find a golden ticket. And as soon as he asked that, the computer spits back, I can't do that. That's cheating.
Right.
And the man says,
I'll share the chocolate with you.
I'll share the chocolate with you. And the man, as soon as he types that into the computer says, I'm a computer. What would I do with a lifetime supply of chocolate? And the man gets so mad and he's like, I am telling it what it can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate. I love that one. I love that one as a kid. I love that one as an adult. That just cracks me up so much every time I see it.
Yes.
All right, so those are our two favorite. We're not going to touch base with all the rest of them.
No, but there's just a big montage.
Just know that there are lots of scenes to really show you how nuts the world has gone for these chocolate bars. But we will go back. We're going to hit the order of who gets a ticket as we see them get a ticket real quick. So the first person we see win a ticket
is Augustus Gloop.
Augustus Gloop, who we find out is the son of the richest pork butcher. Specifically pig butcher. Yeah, they say pork butcher. Yeah. Which again, I have questions because they seem far richer than I would assume the richest pork butcher in this town in Dusselheim, Germany.
He's the sausage king, I guess.
I guess so, dude, because not only are they rich, they look uber rich.
Yeah, they do. They got all the nice clothes. Mrs. Gloop has her hair done up like she clearly thinks she's way better looking than she actually is. Well,
you can tell she's the type of lady she is. Augustus barely pays attention to anything that's happening. Much like his dad.
All he cares about is food.
Much like his dad. Now, and the scene is the guy says he's talking to Mr. Gloop and he asks him a question. He shoves the microphone in his face and he eats it. And I got to say right now, they play that scene like they want you to think Mr. Gloop is somehow less than.
Yeah.
No. This man brought an interview to their dinner.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Gloop is a hero.
Yeah, he is.
He is justified 100%.
Just it cracks me up. He's like, so what do you think? He just immediately just eats the microphone. Who's next? Who's after him? I think it's
Veruca.
Yeah, it's Veruca.
Veruca is the next one. Veruca Salt, who is
the most spoiled little girl you're ever going to meet in your entire life, and I don't feel bad for her dad.
Veruca Salt is also one of my favorite early 90s female grunge bands.
Is it really?
Yeah. I never heard of Veruca Salt?
Nope, did not know that. Man. I'll have to look them up now.
Leave Me Lying Here. That's the song.
Nice.
Just to throw that out, because I definitely know I've got a few friends and people who listen who are definitely music people who are gonna...
They're gonna pop for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I hate her.
Oh no, Veruca Salt is 100%. You're not supposed to like this character.
No.
You're like, some of the characters are just supposed to have like obnoxious traits of society.
Yeah, they're mostly
right. Like Mike
annoying.
TV. Mike TV is just that Roald Dahl was trying to make a point about the obnoxiousness of like losing yourself into a television, which means he would hate the world we live in.
Yeah, he would. He would totally hate it.
But so, you know, like, but Veruca is one of those characters. There's no redemption.
None.
There. Like, again, like Augustus Gloop is a glutton, which again, I mean, they're saying he eats too much. Who are we to say too much? We live in a world that's all, but we're body positive today, man. It's way different.
For real. Like, he wouldn't even be fat now.
No, that kid would 100%
That kid would just be normal.
He was pretty healthy looking to me, really. I mean,
but 1970s,
husky.
yeah,
He was husky.
There it is. So was I. I was
a husky kid, too.
Right.
So again, I never saw a problem with Augustus Gloop.
I identified with Augustus.
Yeah. So, like I said, though, we saw Veruca's parents.
Yeah.
We see them in the scene. It's Henry and Henrietta, and Henry owns a peanut factory where they de-shell. Again, we have to be specific here because in America, if you own a peanut factory, you probably just farm peanuts and then package them, right? Like, but this is specifically a place that de-shells peanuts. Like, this is not a place where they are harvesting peanuts.
Yeah, and he's got the whole floor just unwrapping candy bar.
And so, like, this is the craziest part to me. Like, that means that he is so wrapped around Veruca's finger, right? That he is losing an obscene amount of money because he bought the chocolate bars, right?
Shut down the factory.
That money. He shut down the factory, but he's still paying his labor.
Yep.
Right? And not producing peanuts to sell.
Yeah, no, he is just going deep in the hole at this point. That's why he's so stressed about it.
It's obscene. Well, and then he promises the bonus, right? Did you hear
the dollar a pound?
One pound. Not a pound for every anything.
No.
1 pound. Your paycheck will have 1 pound extra.
And the ladies pop for it.
They do.
They're like, woo!
That is straight up some indentured labor right there. Oh my goodness, it has to be. What are we doing?
Like, they're already only making 3 pounds, asshole.
It's crazy. But yeah, so it lets you know the whole like craziness of that scene. And then the very end of the scene lets you know that the dad at least knows how spoiled his daughter is, but the mom, like, I don't know,
she's
the way the
just
scene
an enabler.
ends,
she
seems so blissfully unaware.
Yep, just
of
as
the
long as
whole
she's happy.
Of how bad. Yeah, exactly. That's what she says. Like, right, like as
while they're eating antacids like M&Ms in the
because they finally found the golden ticket.
Right, they're like, oh, it's
now
over.
I want to point out right now, since we're just gonna jump around them getting the golden tickets, how crazy this one is though, because. Well, this and Charlie, right? So this one and Charlie are the only 2 times they get a golden ticket where Slugworth is there the second they get the ticket.
Yeah, just he's Slugworth's the one who goes and pulls the lady with the ticket up, like, hey, you come with me.
And then he is also
does he work there too?
Well, and he's also with Charlie within minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody else, he's at like the big giant publicity thing, so everybody knows that it's happened. But
with Augustus, he was a waiter.
Those 2, yeah, I mean,
those.
But
are the
again, it was still at the it was still publicity. It was at the news event. Everybody else is at a news event, a publicity thing. It's been documented that someone won, but Veruca's and Charlie's are
magic,
questionable. You say magic.
I say magic.
I say questionable.
All right. Questionable magic. Sounds like a good band.
Those 2 though are just they're really strange in that aspect because again everybody else is literally on TV.
Yeah,
when you see him. How much did Willy Wonka know? How did Slugworth know? Again, we know because we know that Slugworth actually works for Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
and he's not actually Slugworth.
We'll get to that.
But even if we don't know that right now.
It is weird.
How would he be there unless somehow Willy also would know where the tickets are and he somehow gained that knowledge from there? You know, somehow that's why I was saying
trackers on the tickets.
This is so the 70s. It's before something like that.
But he has magic Oompah Loompa trackers.
Now you see why I said questionable.
And I said magic.
Okay, I agree now. Questionable magic.
Thank you.
Took us a minute. Man,
but we got it back.
So after Veruca, the next winner is Violet. We see Violet. Violet is Violet Beauregard. She is the daughter of a used car salesman.
The classic used car salesman.
Oh yes, no, he is every stereotype.
Every stereotype of one you've ever heard of. That's that guy, and he does it so well.
Definitely. And then we see that her favorite candy is gum.
Yep.
She's normally a gum chewer. She doesn't eat chocolate. She says specifically at the beginning of the conversation to the reporter, she specifically says, I gave up gum
when I heard about this competition.
But then when she tells us that she's had this same piece of gum, she says for 3 months, which means it's the whole time this competition has been going on, which means that she has not given it up. She has just been having it behind her ear longer than normal.
That's gross.
Because she tells us that anytime she's not chewing
and she puts it behind her ear, which is
so if she's telling us that during this competition she has mostly been eating chocolate, she is telling us that for 3 months she has
gum stuck behind her ear
almost constantly.
Ew.
This girl is not right.
No, there's something wrong with that.
All
and
right.
wouldn't it get stuck in your hair? It's like, there's no way that works.
I don't know.
That always bothered me when I was a kid.
It was so disgusting.
Yeah, she's
so
gross.
weird.
I don't like her.
No.
I don't like any of the girls in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They're all gross and rude.
Charlie and Mike TV are the only two that I.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could hang out with both of those kids.
Yeah. I could hang out with a
Augustus is well. I don't know. I don't know if I could.
The man doesn't talk. That's right. Hey man, as long as we're just sitting there at like, what's those big
like one of those big like,
German restaurants
yeah.
with the buffet, you go in there and we'll kill it, man.
Mike TV is my there's a lesson to learn from each of these kids, and the lesson to learn from Mike TV, obviously,
is too much TV is bad for you.
Now, that being said, we live in a way different world than the world that this movie or even Roald Dahl were writing about. Because now
TV is everything.
It's everywhere and it's everything. I love pop culture.
Yeah.
And to me,
imagine we started a podcast for it.
Again, Mike TV is like, I look at this kid and I'm like.
That was me when I was little.
It was. I'm like,
I had that cap gun.
I don't have a single problem with Mike TV.
No, none whatsoever. He might talk a little too much, but I can fix that just by like, shut up.
He's the proto ADD kid.
Yeah.
That's all it is. ADHD.
Yeah.
Whichever one fits better.
I had a friend like him. He was just super hyper. You give him half a Mountain Dew and just watch him go.
But yeah, so again, I don't really have a problem with Mike TV. But Mike TV's the fourth winner, and we see again our Slugworth
sneaking in as a reporter this time.
And we've not said it yet, but I want to point out I love the guy they got for Slugworth. The scar that's on his face, you see him the first time, you see him every time. As soon as you see that scar, you're just like, oh yeah, this dude's a bad guy.
This guy's up to something bad. Look at that scar.
He's sinister.
Only bad guys have face scars.
That's so sinister. He's up to something.
Yeah. Good guys have body scars.
Now, right now, though, I do want to point out, because we are skipping over the song Cheer Up Charlie, and we at least have to, okay, I don't like the song either.
Yeah.
But we have to bring it up. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't just ignore it.
We can't just fast forward through it like we do.
Because I want to at least talk. Yes, exactly. Like everybody does. You fast forward it through it in the movie. Not only do you fast forward through it in the movie, I swear if you watch it on TV, it's cut for time.
Why wouldn't it be? It's pointless.
So that way you don't even have to worry about that.
Nice.
Like the channel automatically. If you're watching it on cable, I promise you most channels cut that song for time. Well, here's my big problem with that song, right? The feel of that song is so out of place.
Yeah.
For the overall movie, but not even just that. Like, it's specifically when they decided to put it in there, right? Because so they Cheer Up Charlie comes out. It's
right when Charlie's about to give up. He's never going to find a ticket.
But he's not really, because it's only after the third ticket's been found. There are still two, so it's only like halfway through, right? To me, this song would have made more sense either right after Mike TV, when there's only one ticket left, right?
Or after the
fake
ticket.
guy and he's crying in his bedroom. That's the scene this song should have played.
That's true.
Because again, she doesn't actually sing it to Charlie, right? She's singing it
to the ether.
So if she's singing it to the ether, but we know Charlie's awake in the room and hearing it, isn't it
that is a much better scene.
Thank you. That's
Time Machine. We got to go back and fix it.
If they would have done that, this song would not be a song that we all hate.
Yeah.
We probably still wouldn't.
Do we still have the TARDIS from the last episode?
I'm telling you.
Can we go back and fix it?
By no means, though, would this song be like a banger.
No, but it would fit better.
It would fit the flow better.
And you probably wouldn't just skip over it.
100%.
Because as it is, it's just like, okay, I get it. He's sad.
It just doesn't play
But it
right,
doesn't.
Though.
But I'm like
I said,
he seems a little whiny in this scene. Like, he's like, I'm never going to get one, okay?
Yeah.
He even says it to his mom. Because he's like, if you think I'm going to be the ones that find you can forget it because it's not going to be me.
Well, actually, if anything, I want to point out, though, usually he comes in not that down. And his mom kind of knocks him down a peg. Yeah. Anytime he's okay, she's
she does. She's just like, let's not get our hopes up too much here.
Yeah. It's weird. And don't be wrong, I feel like Grandpa usually plays him up too much. But
yeah, she's a total buzzkill. I wrote it in my notes somewhere. I was just like, Grandpa Joe's like, hey, we got you some candy. Let's see that gold ticket. And Mom's just back there just like, shut up. Don't get his hopes up. What's wrong with you? And he's like, I let the boy live. She is, though. She's a total buzzkill. That happens like 2-3 times, doesn't it? Where they think that they get a piece of candy and they open it and there's no ticket.
Yeah. Okay, I want to bring this up right now because so far we haven't got to
the fun part of the movie yet.
Well, not even that. I just want to touch on this real quick because right now we're about to get to a scene where Grandpa Joe gives another candy bar.
Yeah, the surprise
in the
one.
dark. Yeah, and they're sharing the moment at night, right? Now that one he shares with him is it's a regular Wonka chocolate bar. So my question here right now is, when you watch the movie, do you not hear how do you hear the contest? Because I hear the contest as the golden ticket's going to be in a Wonka bar. So your traditional Wonka bar, right? But so we also see...
He opens like a moon pie thing earlier on his birthday.
On the birthday scene. Again, we kind of skipped over the birthday. It's really sad and depressing.
Yeah.
We don't need to go back to it. Charlie is our true hero in that he, again, tries to not make everybody feel bad, that they have nothing to give him.
He tries to share the moon pie with everybody. But they're like, no.
So it's a moon pie. And then with the scrumdiddilyumptious bars, I don't know what.
I want one, though.
Right?
I've always wanted one.
But so it is, we can agree, it's something different, right?
Yeah.
So at least this time we see that he's giving him a candy bar he could win.
Yeah. Because it's actually just a straight up regular ass Wonka bar.
But so you feel that way too, though, right?
I always thought that was weird. Anytime the birthday scene plays, I'm like, that's not a Wonka bar. Well, of course it wouldn't have a ticket in it.
It's not even the birthday scene. When we find, we've already said there's the fake moment happens. A fake ticket winner is won, and it doesn't even matter. There will be a fake ticket winner, and so Charlie ends up buying chocolate, right, guys? Yeah. So when he buys the chocolate that time, when he goes in. It's before people know it's fake, right?
Yeah.
So he goes in and he buys it with the money he found in the
sewer drain.
And when he buys it, the first thing out of the candy man's mouth is, now that all the tickets have been found, I can finally put these back on the shelf. Which it means two things for sure.
Yeah.
Not even one of two. It means both of these things. One, it means he was stockpiling chocolate bars trying to hide tickets.
Yeah, he was.
Right?
You know he was. Well, he's got that pipeline. He's the candy guy.
You want to sell it. Why wouldn't he want to sell it unless he
really wanted to get in that factory?
Unless he was hoping he was going to find a ticket.
I can make this much money just selling the candy bars, but if I win the contest and get the entire factory, I can be a fucking billionaire. So that's his thought process.
But then beyond that, though, he says specifically when Charlie buys a scrumdiddylumptious bar, he says,
I don't have to hide these anymore.
I don't have to hide these, which implies the scrumdiddylumptious bar was part of the contest. Which is it? Is it not? Is it just the Wonka bar?
I don't know.
It's so hard to follow.
It bothers me too.
It's so hard to follow.
Because they only ever find them in actual regular Wonka bars. In the scene with Veruca and shit, they have cases of regular Wonka bars. That's where they find the ticket.
Yep.
When Charlie finally finds his, it's a regular Wonka bar.
I agree, man. I agree.
Bad continuity writers.
And so we won't even go back because you've heard us twice now mention that there was a fake winner. There was a fake winner. Again, the better time for the song, Cheer Up Charlie, would have been when he's crying after he hears everybody talking about the fake winner. The only thing I want to bring up about that scene real quick, though, is the mom. Literally, everybody's like, when should we tell Charlie? And she literally says, I definitely don't think we should wake him up. Was that on the table? Was waking up your child to be like, your dreams are crushed?
I don't know. She's a pretty bad buzzkill. She might just go in there and just be like, hey, the contest's over. You lost. Go back to sleep. And then leave. I can see her doing it.
Maybe, man. Because that's all I thought whenever, like, cause she's the one that says it. She's literally like,
do we wake him up?
No, she doesn't. No, do we wake him up would have been nice. She says, we don't need to wake him up. Implying...
Somebody was about to go do it.
But nobody was.
No.
So in her head, that was an option. She was just making sure nobody said it.
Grandpa George just side-eyes her just like, the fuck? Why would we?
But so again, the next day, like we've already said, he finds money. He gets his ticket.
And immediately gets mobbed by a group of people.
Now, this is why I wrote down the name of his boss. Because again, right now, his boss is a hero.
Yeah, he is.
If it weren't for Mr. Jopek.
Somebody would have snatched that ticket and beat this kid down.
Yeah,
They were
Mr.
about to.
Jopek is the one that grabs Charlie and is screaming to him, "Run, Charlie! Go home, Charlie!" So that's
And then he immediately runs into Slugworth.
while he's on his way
On his
home.
own.
The music, at first, before he gets there, you're like, "Oh, everything's great," because we start to hear Golden Ticket.
Yeah,
play.
we hear it in the
Little
background. We're just
teaser of
like,
it. And then it stops.
And then boom, there's Slugworth.
And we finally get introduced to him as Slugworth right
Yep.
now.
He was just Scar Guy up to that point.
Yep. He tells us his sinister plan finally,
Yeah.
why he's been talking to all these ticket winners, and it's that Wonka has created.
The everlasting gobstopper.
We have no idea what that is yet. We just know that it's a thing.
He wants one though.
Yep.
He's like, if you get one, I'll give you money, mad stacks. Your family will be set forever. Just give me a piece of candy. It's all I want. Usually that's the other way around.
Then Charlie runs off back home.
Yeah.
No problems.
No,
it's all
just
good.
the music starts again. We get our
Happy day. He gets in the door. He tells everybody he won.
No one fucking believes him.
No, Grandpa Joe does.
He says, "Oh, don't pull my leg." This
Yeah, no, but I mean,
over.
compared to everybody else, Grandpa Joe is the one. Because as soon as he pulls out the ticket,
He's like, "Let me see it."
what
Let me see
happens instantly? Grandpa Joe gets out of bed.
Yeah, he does.
This man hasn't moved for 20 years. He gets up out of bed.
Because
Because this song is that hype.
yeah, it is. Through the power of song and dance.
The words
He
just
can
start
walk.
coming to him. He is back, and we finally see these grandparents up out of the bed, and you could see a little bit of it before this moment, but as soon as they get out of bed, as soon as Grandpa Joe is out of bed, you see how disgusting these clothes are.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't
They're
know
like
about you, but when I was a kid, again, I don't know if it's because I'm now watching like a HD version of the movie, but as a kid, I don't remember the clothes looking that bad.
No, I don't either. They were just kind of like,
But these things are foul.
yeah, they're filthy. They are stained.
They've definitely been in that bed for 20 years.
Yeah, they have.
And probably in those clothes.
Which is unacceptable. His mom is a washerwoman.
Excellent point.
We never mentioned it before, but his mom is a washerwoman that washes clothes. So that is completely unacceptable.
Excellent point. But yeah, so they sing what is one of my favorite songs in the movie.
Mine too. I love this song.
I love it.
Were you singing along
The whole time
while you were watching? Me
Yeah.
too.
I've watched this movie multiple times for this, and I sang it every time. I never dreamed that I would climb over the moon in ecstasy, but nevertheless it's there that I'm shortly about to be.
Because I've got a golden ticket.
All right, we're gonna go any further.
I
could do every word. I can do every
better
word.
Stop. We better stop.
We gotta stop because again,
That's my one singing. That's all I'm doing.
I can't promise that. Mine's horrible, but I am the kind of person that does not care. So, guys, be prepared when we get movies with some good
ones.
tunes. I'm probably going to belt them out because
Yeah.
I'm just that person.
Let's do it. KFC the musical.
We get this song, and again, as soon as the song is over, they're like, "All right, we have to get ready." And
Yeah,
the
it's
mom
tomorrow.
says, Joe just says we have to get ready. He doesn't realize how badly they need to get ready. He just does it, and that's when the mom hits us with the "It's tomorrow."
And he immediately is just like, "Oh, we have so much to do here. Comb your hair, polish your shoes, put on your shirt and stuff." And the mom's like, I got it.
Like
chill."
he's about to walk out the door with
Yeah,
his
like-
coat on and the nasty,
the
dirty.
nasty shirt. He's just gonna go. He's like, "I got my slippers and my cane. I'm ready." And then we just cut to the next day, and we got a big, big band and a
Big
celebration.
fair, big fair.
Everybody's out.
So this is the point where I'll go ahead and say, because it's in my notes, we are literally right now. So we're not even in the we're not even in the chocolate factory.
We
yet,
are outside the gate.
We're outside the gate. This is exactly the halfway point of the movie.
Jesus Christ, really?
Outside the gate, halfway point of the movie.
Wow.
When the scene opens. So think about that. From when the scene opens until we actually get to, say, the waterfall room, right? Because we can all agree, me, you, and everybody listening,
Doesn't really start till we get to the
you don't
chocolate
see the
room.
factory until you see the waterfall room. That's where you can say it starts,
Yeah,
right?
that's where the fun is.
And what that's got to be 15 minutes from
From where this part
halfway
is,
point.
yes, it is. Because
This is what I was saying, dude. So little of this movie actually takes place in the
it's
factory.
the best part.
But it's just they write it so well
That you don't feel it.
It is such a world to live in that you just feel like you're in that world way longer
Yeah.
than you are.
You're just chilling, ready for it to happen. But yeah, we got the big band and the news crews and everybody and all the ticket winners are there and they're ready. And we're all waiting for Wonka to come out. And then I think a bell goes off or something and everybody kind of quiets down. And he starts coming out real limping on the cane. And he's going real slow. And then his cane gets stuck in a rock. And everybody kind of goes, And then he does a sick forward flip, rolls right up. Ta-da! I'm okay.
Kudos.
Big pop. Everybody was
kudos to Gene Wilder.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. Like he insisted that scene be in there.
Of course he did.
He was like, no, if I'm going to do it, this is how we're going to start. That way.
Gene Wilder is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, he's a genius.
100% can believe that.
Because after that point, you can't tell whether Wonka is telling the truth or not. Because immediately, as soon as you meet him, you think, oh, he's a crippled old guy. And then, no, he does this sick flip and jumps up and and it's like, okay, maybe not.
Again, since we just watched the Doctor Who movie multiple times. Yeah. Again, all that popped into my head when he did that was the Doctor lies.
The Doctor lies. Nice.
I was that's all I could think. I was just
Gene Wilder would have been a great Doctor.
I agree.
That would have been fantastic.
I literally think that his Willy Wonka would be a great Doctor Who.
Yes, dude. That's what the Doctor's doing on his off time. He just goes and makes candy.
Glad we're in agreement here.
Yes.
All right. So we immediately go from there. We see him interact with the kids real quick.
They gets the tickets.
He gets the tickets that go inside. It's time to do the signatures.
Yeah.
To agree to go in.
The contract starts off gigantic big letters and just progressively gets smaller,
so you can't tell what's being said to each of them. Yeah. And literally the used car salesman, like you would expect, is the man that he
knows the contract.
He says,
contracts.
I don't trust a contract. My daughter ain't signing no contract.
And Wonka's just like, you won't begrudge me a little protection? Just a drop?
And then that's when Veruca's dad tries to say no. And of course, Veruca says, I'm the first one signing. Yeah. I don't care what you think.
You're always trying to make things difficult.
You don't get to tell me I'm going to do it.
And that just starts it off where, well, she did it. We all might as well go for it. And Grandpa Joe is awesome. He's just like, we ain't got nothing to lose. Go for it, Charlie. Like, what? They're going to take our shitty barn?
We're a poor family.
Yeah. Like,
so
can't get any worse, right?
So then we immediately go from there to
the room that... Well, the weird room that with no door.
The room.
Again,
he says they're about to go down a hallway, but it's a room.
Yeah, it's just a room. And then they
Door?
Where's the door? He's banging around. Everybody's smashed in, and then they go and...
He says, that's the door, and everybody... That's the door we came in. Yeah. But so then they
walks through,
and so then they immediately go from there into the hallway, and we get So again, I love Mike TV. I'm not a fan of Mike TV's mom, and so this is the there are lots of scenes. What?
The musical lock.
Well, no, before we even get to the musical lock, she says something that aggravates me.
Oh, really?
Walking down this hallway, because the hallway, remember, this is it's getting smaller, right?
No, it's not. He's getting bigger.
He's getting bigger. So let's look at this. As of right now, again, later in the movie, we could believe the science-y magic because we see Wonka pull off a lot of science-y magic, right?
Yeah.
Right now, nobody knows that about the man.
Yeah.
And her instant thought isn't, the kids with the rationality of the room that could be built smaller to one end is stupid. It's got to be that this man is magically getting bigger.
But she's stupid anyway, dude.
She is. Everything about her aggravates me, and it starts from this moment.
They make a pretty good joke when he goes to the door and he's like, it's a musical lock, and that little refrain. And she's like, Rachmaninoff. And Mr. Salt looks at her like, no, it's not.
The only reason I even know Rachmaninoff as a person is because of this woman's incorrect answer of Rachmaninoff. And so confidently, dude.
Yeah, just Rachmaninoff.
It's awful. It's awful. But yeah, so then we get inside from the musical lock. Oh, we skipped the first lock. 99, 44, 100% pure. I love every aspect of Willy Wonka and his weird eccentricness throughout this
I love how he deflects questions. When they ask him about the really small print on the contract, he's just like, I'm sorry, if you have any problems, please dial information. Thank you for calling. And then walks off. I'm sorry, I'm a trifle deaf in this ear. Please speak louder next time.
All questions must be submitted
in writing.
Every time
they ask him a question, he deflects with something. Great. It's great.
But so then we make our way inside after the musical combination, and we immediately get our next song,
Pure Imagination, which is one of my personal favorites. I sing it all the time when I'm by myself and no one's around, because you can't help but not do it when you think about it. It's like, you're just like, come with me and you'll see.
Because it's the room where everything is eatable.
Yeah, edible.
You can eat almost anything.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love this room. I wanted to go to this place.
Okay. Again, we don't need to go over every bit.
No.
We just know that everybody that's listening, if you haven't seen the movie, shame on you. We've already said this.
Yeah,
I'll say it probably again before we're done. But just know that it's a room full of, again, much like the quote we just gave you, everything
is edible.
Edible. Eatable. Almost.
Yeah, almost. You can...
Within reason.
I mean, he eats a leaf. Well, you can even eat the leaves.
He eats the teacup. The full teacup.
Yeah, he eats a teacup that looks like a flower.
But so, again,
we don't...
Okay, so again...
I want the giant gummy bear,
okay, so that's my question. You're jumping ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the question I want to ask. We're not going to go over everything in the room. What's your favorite thing in the room? Obviously, we already know, but go ahead and say it again.
I want the giant gummy bears.
They grow on trees. Again,
yes.
Let people know in case they don't.
It's a renewable resource. You plant the gummy bear tree and you wait 6 months. It grows giant gummy bears. You harvest the gummy bears and then it grows more.
So my favorite is it's got to be the whipped cream.
The whipped cream mushroom?
Yeah. I don't like mushrooms, but for some reason...
That mushroom
giant, like...
With the red and white spots?
Yeah. I love that.
Well, the TV's mom, she's in there, she's like, oh, yeah.
That's the only thing I agree with her on.
But then they noticed the Chocolate River, right?
And
after the song. And the Oompa Loompas come out first, and then Augustus does his stuff.
Well, no, but you see him before that. He's already drinking from the river.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, in one of the pan scenes. Like, that's how, again, he is such a glutton that basically he ate one or two things and then immediately just started drinking from the river.
He's like, this is chocolate. I'm in. So they give me a straw.
Yeah. You definitely see him once before he falls in, for sure.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah. So then we get to meet our Oompa Loompas, which again is...
The reason for our beer here, Jinkies.
Oompah Loompa for our Oompa.
Our Oompah Oktoberfest beer.
But so we find them, we see them, and Willy Wonka says, "These are my Oompa Loompas from Loompa Land."
There's no such place.
No such place.
I'm a geography teacher. There's no such place. Shut up, Mike TV's mom.
And then he proceeds to say, "But of course, I saved them from Loompa Land, and it's a real place. I had to keep them away from all the wang doodles and hornswogglers and snozwangers and rotten vermicious canids."
Hornswanglers, vermicious canids. What sort of rubbish is that? I love Mr. Salt. He's my favorite of the parents.
So the Oompa Loompas, right now, we just see that they work there, and they're indentured slaves.
Maybe they have like really sweet apartment complexes.
Yeah, I understand. And
but
then
they're definitely not getting paid.
And then we get the line from Veruca, I need a slave.
Yeah, essentially.
She's like, I need a slave.
Yeah, but I'll get you one before the day is over with.
Daddy, I want one now. It's not fair. But yeah, so then we see Augustus again, and he falls in.
Yep, and Wonka is just concerned about his chocolate.
Help. Police.
Murder. And then poor Augustus, he gets sucked up into
and shot through
a pipe,
yep.
Which is really funny because it gets stuck halfway and you can see him in there yelling for help.
Yeah.
And Wonka's just sitting there, he's just like, the suspense is terrible. I hope it'll last. Which is another clue that this is all a little bit more sinister than you would think because he looks like a psychopath while he says it.
Yeah, so he shoots up through the
pipe.
We get from Grandpa Joe. Remember when you asked me how bullets exit out of a gun? Which is not true.
No, that's not how it works.
It has nothing to do with anything about how that happened. We then go from this
to our first Oompa Loompa song.
Yeah, because again, anytime this happens,
when something bad happens to
one of the kids, we get an Oompa Loompa song that is literally just there to tell us this is the lesson you should learn.
Yeah, don't be like this. The Oompa Loompas literally give you the key to winning this game.
That's right. So we get our Oompa Loompa song, and we get Mrs. Gloop rushed off so that way she can collect her son.
He's been made into fudge, I know.
Wonka summons the boat.
Yeah, the Wonkatania, the super dope paddle wheel boat.
The scariest part of the movie.
Yes. Oh my God. Because it starts off all nice and peaceful and they're just kind of going down the chocolate river. And then they go in this tunnel and it all gets really dark real quick. Cuts all these scenes.
One second. Before we get on the boat, I just have to point this out. This is the moment where Grandpa Joe keeps it super real about Veruca. Before they get on the boat, she says something about how she gets to get on the boat first.
Because she's a lady.
And he says, if she's a lady, I'm a virgin. It's just Knid.
Yeah.
And then after that, in the middle of the boat ride, is the what she needs is a real kick in the pants.
Yeah.
Like, he's keeping it real.
Yeah, he is. He's
about
not having any
Veruca.
of Veruca's shit.
And all of that, again, he is almost always right next to her dad. Like, there's no way Veruca's dad is not hearing all these things. Oh, yeah. I mean, again, I know. But I'm just saying, like, that's how real Grandpa Joe
Yeah, he is. He don't give a fuck.
All right, now let's get back to the boat ride, because the boat ride is insane. I didn't mean to skip that, but I love that about this.
No, it's great, but the boat ride is scary as hell, man.
When you're a kid, the boat ride is literally just like you'd cover your eyes during this scene. There's crazy
leave the room.
There's crazy stuff going on the walls. Bugs.
Like the chicken gets its head cut off.
Yes, right.
That was nuts.
Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a-blowing? And then it just goes into lines and lines about hell and depravity. Because this man is seriously...
fires of hell glowing?
He's literally descending into madness, and he's taking everybody on a boat ride to hell.
That scream is terrifying that he ends it with.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely horrifying.
And then stop
the boat! And then it's all done. We're here. Where's here? We're here.
Everything's calm again, and we get off the boat. We're at the inventing room.
Yeah, we're at an R&D lab where he makes all of his most experimental stuff. No touching, no discussing, and keep your hands to yourself.
Yes. We get inside. My favorite thing that gets pointed out right away. Again, I don't want to touch base on. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of puns happening.
Yeah.
This is the room. This is the moment where if you love a good pun, you get like 10 puns right away. It
needs a little more kick.
Yes, it needs a little more kick. We've got no time to waste.
And he drops in a clock.
Yeah. But so my favorite of the things that happen here of the just quickly passing through scene moments is when Mr. Salt says, butterscotch, butter gin,
butter rum. You got something going on the side here, Wonka. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker.
This is my favorite.
Right,
I love
it's
that.
so good.
There are two main things we get from this room. The first main thing we get from this room is going to be the everlasting gobstopper.
Yeah.
We see them. Well, no, we
it's
definitely
under
hear
sheets.
We hear
stuff.
the machine first.
Yeah, because Mr.
I'll never in my life.
Veronka's mom. Violet's dad. Shit.
Beauregard. Mr. Beauregard.
Beauregard. Veronka's mom. That was really wrong.
Yeah, they come up to it, and you hear it first, and I will never in my life not know that sound. That
right. Wow.
Yes, exactly. The weird like spring sound.
Yeah, and shit. Makes crazy noises, and it's all under sheets, so you don't actually see anything.
So as soon as you hear it, you know. But so he pulls out the everlasting gobstopper. He tells everybody finally what it is. Again, we can assume with a name like everlasting that it was never going to end.
Yeah.
We didn't know how magical this man was until relatively recently.
Yeah.
And so now we know he can indeed, and probably did make a candy that will never disappear.
Yeah, it's for kids who don't have a lot of money.
It's for Charlie.
Suck it and
for Charlie Bucket.
Yep.
It's specifically out of these kids for Charlie Bucket.
Oh, and did you notice all the other kids are like, I want one, and Charlie's the only one back there who's just kind of like quiet.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually ask for a gobstopper.
Because Charlie's the kid, man.
Grandpa Joe has to tell Wonka, hey, one for Charlie. And he's like, yeah, one for Charlie.
Yep.
So Charlie's the good kid here.
Always has been.
Oh, yeah.
But so then, and we see, several. We see Veruca specifically, fingers crossed behind her back.
Yeah.
You can tell some of the other kids are also maybe thinking.
Yeah, they're full of shit.
They're going to be selling this off.
We're totally going to give this a chance.
But so then the next machine we see is the gum machine.
Yeah,
the 3-course meal, and
gum.
Literally you see bees flying around.
They're
And
making honey.
You see mashed potatoes,
and stuff.
And so you're just like, what is this
thing?
And of course, if anybody's going to run up, we already know who it's going to be.
Yep.
It's going to be our nasty, disgusting little girl Violet, because she loves gum.
But I love this. I love this line. I use this line all the time when I'm trying to find like a remote control or something. The button, who's got the button? I do it all the time, and it's because of this movie.
It's a great line.
Yeah.
I have it right here.
Yeah.
Button, who's got the button?
It's right over there. Good lad.
So then it's a 3-course dinner. She snatches the gum when she finds that out. She
No,
starts
stop,
chewing.
don't.
Yes, stop, don't. And she immediately starts telling us what the meal is. I'm going to save everybody the slow draw that she gives. It is tomato soup, roast beef, and a baked potato, which is weird because we saw mashed.
Yeah.
And a blueberry pie and cream for dessert. And when she tells us it's a blueberry pie,
she starts turning blue. You're turning violet, Violet.
this is the exact quote. It's my favorite. It's Violet. You're turning violet. Violet, there are 3.
There are
you have to
3?
make sure you say
Oh.
it 3 times.
My
2
bad.
of them are names and 1 of them is the word.
My bad. I missed one.
You did.
My favorite quote out of that is after she blows up into the blueberry and he calls the
Yes.
Oompah Loompas and they do their song. They're leading him out. And he's like, I got a blueberry for a daughter.
Now, here's the thing I took away from this scene. One of the things that Wonka tells us is there's nothing to worry about. And he says it always happens at dessert.
Yeah.
They always turn into blueberries. How many poor Oompa Loompas got turned into blueberries? And where are the blue Oompa Loompas at?
Maybe they can dye the skin back to orange somehow.
I don't know. Again, so this is a moment we're gonna break. If you just go by this movie, all these kids are dead.
Yeah,
right?
they
We
are all
already know
dead.
this. We never see them again in this movie.
Yeah.
In the story, we see them again, and her skin is permanently blue.
Is it?
Yeah.
Aw.
No, again, if we want to live in the world of this, we have no idea they're dead.
Yeah, they die.
Which, so in that case, is still super simple because it means that most likely all those Oompa Loompas
Loompas are
died.
gone. Yeah.
But again, the other assumption here is he says that she'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to juice her.
Yeah, they're just going to tend her to the juicing room.
So here's my question, though. What if Oompa Loompas are, again, there's some kind of magical things, right? What if they are more elastic than people?
Oh, yeah, that's
What
right.
if she can't survive?
Yeah,
the
what if she
juicing
doesn't spring
process?
back to what she was and she just bursts like a grape?
All right, so we leave this room and we go to
I think it's
we get the next room. We get a full room is going to be the fizzy lifting.
we
drink
get
room.
walk past the
But
lickable
before, yeah,
wallpaper.
so we get the lickable wallpaper in which we get the scene.
Strawberries taste like strawberries.
And the snozberries taste like snozberries. All right, here we go. Here's a moment because you're not a Roald Dahl book reader. I'm going to hit you with some knowledge for you.
Cool.
So we all assume snozberries means nose, right?
Yeah.
According to Roald Dahl's books, this would be a much dirtier place. I'm going to leave it at that. Anybody who is the listener, which is all we have right now.
Yeah.
You guys don't know exactly what I'm saying, but just know it is way dirtier than a nose.
Oh, God.
We all live in a world where it's just, again, I never lived in a world where it wasn't.
Yeah,
I
it's
just know
boogers.
that in one of his other
Yeah.
books he does insinuate that it is snozberries is something different because again, snoz means nose.
Yeah.
So where would you ever start to think that it means anything different? Especially as a child.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Never.
If you go by Roald Dahl's books,
It is
it's
something
different and
way
everybody again, I'm not telling you to look it up.
Look it up.
That's the only way you're going to find out because I'm not going to tell you. All right, let's move on. So we leave that room and we walk past fizzy lifting. Wonka doesn't even go in there. Wonka just kind of says,
This is it. It does the thing. It lifts you off the ground, but it's too powerful. You
Let's
can't
go.
have any. Let's get out of here.
and so then Grandpa Joe. Don't get me wrong. It's not like he's twisting Charlie's arm.
No,
Charlie doesn't.
he immediately was like, yeah,
But
let's
Grandpa
do it.
Joe is the one who says,
Let's try some.
let's steal this drink. Right
Yeah,
now.
we're going to do this.
And so I want to point out that this is the reason I think that at the end of the movie, Grandpa Joe feels so bad about Charlie not being able to pick.
Yeah,
It's because
it's his fault.
Grandpa Joe messed up.
Yeah, not Charlie.
But so yeah, this scene we get they drink the fizzy lifting drink, and when they drink the fizzy lifting drink,
They float?
start think huffing helium, but it actually does what you think it would do.
Yeah, it actually makes you float.
It makes you like a cartoon. And so you just start floating like a balloon because that's exactly what happens. They start slowly
Yeah.
floating and
I'm
then
a
start doing
bird. I'm a
tricks.
plane.
And then Grandpa Joe starts doing a front flip,
Yep.
which again, how is this man not throwing out a hip? He's been bedridden,
for
the
20
last
years.
20 years. He's only not been out of bed, we can assume, for 8 hours. Because again, he was
Yeah,
the,
it
day
was the day
before.
before.
He went to bed at the end of the night.
Yeah, magic.
But yeah, so this man
Power
is,
of song.
But so then we get from Grandpa Joe and Charlie. They're both like, "Oh no, we have to.
We can't get down.
We need to stop." And they look up
There's
and they're
a
like,
big
"There's
fan."
Now I don't know about you, but I never watch this scene and see that fan and think it looks menacing.
No.
It seems very slow.
Yeah, it's just
it
kind
doesn't
of
look like it's supposed to be sharp blades.
It looks like you could stop it with your hand.
I never was like
Like a
why are they
ceiling
so
fan.
yeah I never saw that as a kid and was like I why are they so scared?
that and like you could just
When
kinda,
you just
there's
well,
the bar like Grandpa
well,
Joe even like
well,
stops himself.
well, like worst case scenario, you get tired of holding yourself with an arm, right? You just plank on the long giant metal
Yeah.
bar. You just plank on it. You just lay.
Just kind of lay on it until it all wears off and then you sink.
I don't know.
They weren't in any real danger.
That's how I feel. But so
Yeah.
then they realize the only way to counter the effects
Is to burp.
is to release gas. They say burp, but here's my question for you: is it any gas?
just fart and
Could
start
they?
dropping. I mean, yeah,
Gas
I
is
see
gas,
why
right?
it wouldn't work that way. I think it works that way.
Okay.
If you can't burp, try to
If you
fart.
find yourself
With some fizzy lifting drinks and you can't get down,
try both.
try both.
Don't just automatically assume the other won't
Do
help.
both at the same time, you'll drop like a stone.
Well, that might be dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, don't do that.
But so then we see Grandpa, Joe, and Charlie immediately run to catch up.
It's almost like he was paused, too. Did you notice?
No. It's literally like everything waited for Charlie
For
and Joe
them to
back
get up.
Yeah. They run into the egg room.
Yeah, the Golden Goose Room.
And we get to hear, again, even though they weren't with them,
we still get an
hear
explanation.
the entire explanation of the Golden Goose Room. And so this is a room where these are chocolate-filled golden eggs for Easter. And so the golden geese. Geese.
She says geeses.
I know. It's so wrong every time I hear it. But so the golden geese lay eggs all year in preparation for Easter. And according to Willy Wonka, they work hard. And then we hear, while they're all there, all these eggs they're fine. But then in the background, we just hear, bonk, 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 and an egg drop.
That's
and
the
they're
egg,
like,
the egg detector.
the egg detector. They're all like, what's that for? And he's like, well, some eggs are bad.
Yeah.
Bad eggs.
This determines the good eggs from the bad eggs. It's an educated egg detector.
That's right. And so then we get a scene from Veruca song.
Yep.
She's the only child. Right? That gets her own song.
She's the only one.
Because Charlie sings some
with Grandpa,
but
he's not very
it's
good.
not, and it's not his only song. Yeah, I mean, it's not just him.
Yeah.
It's not a solo. She
is the solo, and she's good.
She is good.
I like the song. I just don't
It's
like
one
her.
of my favorite songs in there. Well,
don't care how I want it now.
But so we then see her. She sings her song, and when she's done with her song, she finishes it by standing on top of the educated egg detector.
And she immediately falls.
The most epic, and she screams like it's
no. And it holds for a while. You hear it just descend into
and
immediately,
Mr. Salt is like, "Where's my daughter?"
Oh, that goes to the furnace.
Yeah, the incinerator.
She'll be sizzled like a sausage.
Well, every other week.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that she's fine. And he dives head first after her and stuff. And Grandpa makes a great joke. He's like, "Well, Mr. Salt finally got what he wanted. What's that?" Veruca went first.
They are a couple of bad eggs. He calls on the Oompah Loompas, and he tells them they just need to go check the trash chute.
Yeah.
Check it. He doesn't say they're going to be there. He's kind of just hoping. He's kind of just hoping.
Yeah. Because the furnace could be off.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Every other week.
Flip
a coin.
Yep. Bing. You got a 50-50 shot, right?
So
they're dead. They're dead.
Again, the way this movie plays, we never see these kids again.
Dead.
We never get that moment in this movie.
All we get is a line of dialogue from Wonka, like, "No, they're fine."
So then we leave this room. We get the Wonka wash.
Yeah, the
Wonka wash.
Yeah, and the Wonka mobile.
No, but he doesn't. That's not the focus of the scene. He wants people to see the Wonka wash.
I know.
Wonka wash backwards.
Yeah, we get on the.
I know what happened. I didn't know the scene.
Yeah.
But again, the scene is about selling us the Wonka wash. We hear it forwards and backwards. Wonka wash. Huzzah. I don't even know.
I was going to say, can you do it backwards too?
I cannot. It's the one thing I love this movie. I know the words back. Like I know what it looks like backwards. Yeah. It does not say, like if when you think it phonetically, it is not the way that Gene Wilder says it, and I can't say it the way I've tried so many times.
Is that Japanese?
It's Wonka wash. It sounds like it when he says it. It
sounds like Hiawatha.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so it's Wonka wash forwards and backwards. Yes, it is the Wonka mobile. I'm not denying it, but that thing moves at like 2 miles an hour. That is not the selling point of this scene.
But he really opened it up that time to see what it could do.
That's horrible. So again, the selling point in the scene is this crazy Wonka wash technology because it literally takes every bubble out like that.
Finest bath Grandpa's had in 20 years.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Wonka wash is the most important.
Yeah.
But so we leave the Wonka wash Wonka-mobile room.
Yeah.
Which has no point other than to drive through and then be clean.
Yep, just something fun for us to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think in the factory, because it can't travel very fast, so it can't leave the spot it's in.
I just wanted to show you my cool thing.
I haven't figured out a purpose for yet.
Yeah, but it's cool.
But
Look
this is what it does.
It instantly cleans you.
Yes, because that's the kind of man Wonka is. He's less about what the actual practical use is,
but look at the
just
cool
more
thing
about making the cool thing.
Yeah.
But so then we get Mike TV and Wonka Vision.
Yay.
Now, if you wanted to sell me on trying to say what's the most important out of the three things, and you kept yelling Wonka Vision at me, I would say, yes, you're right. That's the most important. It's the most impractical.
Yes. It's
For what
horribly
he's
impractical.
using it for. This could have so many uses in so many places.
Yep.
Not for making chocolate, because he made a 17-ton chocolate bar into a 5-ounce chocolate bar.
That's a bit of a cost difference.
Yeah, that's not cost effective. That's the opposite of cost effective.
You're losing
it's
money.
cost deductive.
Yeah.
You're losing money.
You're losing so much money doing that. It cost.
Now, that being said, our theory about him being a madman who's killing kids, these are just his evil genius inventions, right? Like, I mean, he's got a shrink ray and teleportation. These are things that madmen make.
I have no practical use for this, but look how cool it is.
Comic books would tell me this is a bad guy.
Yeah, this is a supervillain right now.
Right? Like, I mean, we can all agree here that
you can't stop me, Superman. Exactly. I have my shrink ray.
Exactly. Okay, but so we get a shrunken down Mike TV.
Yep.
He is now
6 inches tall.
He can now live among the Lilliputians, the borrowers.
The borrowers.
He will be right at home with all of these people.
Yeah.
Very tiny Mike TV gets dropped in his mom's purse and then sent to the taffy pulling room.
And the one Oompa Loompa like just bends down and asks Wonka if he's going to be held responsible if anything happens. And Wonka's like, no, I won't hold you any responsibility. You're fine. Because little boys are elastic.
Naturally elastic. Yes, that's what he says. Yeah.
So we're gonna stretch him back into shape.
But so then we leave that room. Yeah. And now we're left.
Tour's over.
We're left with just Charlie.
Yeah.
Right. And so we go to Wonka's office, and in Wonka's office, there's this scene where Grandpa brings it up. He's like, "What about the
chocolate?
What about the chocolate?
When does Charlie get his shit?"
And Wonka loses it.
Goes off.
Starts yelling at him.
It's right here. Clear as crystal, black and white. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. They bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sanitized. You lose, sir. Good day.
And then Grandpa Joe tries to stammer a couple of words, and before he can get even anything in like coherent out, immediately Willy Wonka follows it up with, "I said good day, sir."
And that's it.
And that we think is going to be the end. That's
Grandpa
the end.
Joe's like, let's get out of here.
Go to the door and see yourself out. Yeah. And not so friendly of terms.
Yeah.
And then Charlie stops. He turns around. He's got the gobstopper. Again, Charlie, the kid who the gobstopper is made for.
Yeah.
The kid who has no money. The kid who this would be the thing that would make
candy
him
forever.
Feel happy about his existence for the rest of forever, because he doesn't have to feel left out of all these other kids and their candy.
Right? Like, this is my candy. It lasts forever.
Takes it, puts it back on the table right in front of Willy Wonka in all of his madcap half
stuff. Everything's cut in half.
Everything.
I love his office.
I do too. But so he puts it back on the desk, and as soon as he puts it back on the desk, all we hear is mouthy breath of Willy Wonka is, "So shines a good deed in a weary world."
And then he calls Charlie back. He's like, "Charlie, you did it. You've won. You did it. You're the hero.
I knew you could.
I knew you could. I believed in you the whole time."
And that's
he's elated.
And again, we are now officially 3 minutes from the end of the movie, and we just now get told, like, I mean, essentially 30 seconds credits roll, we get told, "Oh, by the way, this was just a contest and a sham. I set it all up." That Slugworth guy, his name is Mr. Wilkinson.
He works for me. Say hi.
Not really something you have to worry about, not a threat.
No.
My only problem when I found that out is, so Grandpa Joe told us about Slugworth in the beginning when we heard about the history. I want to know the story of the real man.
Maybe that'll be in the prequel thing.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we get to find out about the real Slugworth. Or at least we find out if there is a real Slugworth. And if there isn't, think about that. That is such a slow, long burn.
Yeah, he put the idea of Slugworth out there years ago. He's been planning his retirement for like 20 years now.
Right?
Jeez.
Again, the revelations when you stop to think about some of this stuff.
I never even thought of that.
Right?
Never even thought of that.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
We see Willy Wonka says, "All right, well, now I got to take you to something special because you're the winner.
We're going to take the Wonka Vader."
It's not the Wonka Vader. if you're going to get on me about forgetting the Wonka mobile, I'm going to get on you right now. It is the Great Glass Wonkavator. That is part of the name.
Very sorry.
Great Glass Wonkavator.
Great Glass Wonkavator. I cut off some of its glory. I feel awful.
Well, it's only because it's important that it's made out of
glass.
It's not really, again, I do believe all of you have seen this, and if you haven't, again, I will say shame on you. But this is not actually made out of glass, in case you have not seen the movie.
No.
It has a very strong bronze frame, it looks like.
Framed in bronze with glass doors.
Yeah, and plexiglass.
Yeah, plexiglass even.
But so he makes a point that it is glass, and then he says, let's get in. And they're like, oh, it's an elevator. And he says, No, Charlie.
An elevator can only go up and down.
Do you not know me?
Have you not been paying any fucking attention to this entire day?
I am a madman who makes crazy things. This is a Wonkavator. A Wonkavator can go long ways and slant ways and short ways and sideways.
And back ways and forward ways and up ways and slide ways.
So we get it. It can go lots of ways. And he says to him, you can go to any room in this factory just by pushing one of these buttons.
And I've pushed them all.
Except for one. That one. Now here's my thing. He had someone build to him this elevator. And he told this man, I want you to make me a button.
That I don't know what it does.
I don't know what it does. Now again, he wants us to believe he doesn't know what it does.
Yeah.
But as soon as it pushed, he instantly knows we're going out.
Instantly knows.
But so here's my thing. Either request is insane. He either went to a man and said, I want you to make me a thing.
And not tell me what it does.
And not tell me what the last button does and where it goes. Or he went to a man and said, I want you to make me a thing. And I want the last button to shoot us out the roof.
Like a cannon. Just straight out.
Yeah, either way, it's an insane
they're both
request.
Nuts.
But so he says, Charlie, I've pushed all of them except for this one. You push this last button. Charlie pushes the button as they start going up. Willy Wonka kind of mutters to himself, not really to the group.
No.
He kind of mutters to himself.
Come on, we got
faster. If we don't pick up enough speed, we'll never make it through. To which Grandpa, again, this wasn't said to Grandpa.
No.
He's kind of just sitting there looking at the madman, muttering to himself. And he's like, make it through what?
What? Make it through what? What are we going to do?
And so Willy Wonka's like, oh yeah, there are people with me. if we don't go fast enough, we'll be cut to ribbons.
Yep.
Because we're going up and out.
So if we don't get enough speed, we're just going to smash into it.
Again, now that being said, once we see what they're actually shooting up towards, the kind of glass window, it's absurd that he ever made them think they were going to be hurt. The bronze frame with the giant rod on the top was always going to shatter that glass before they ever had a problem.
Because it's not special glass. It's just like the sunroof on top of a
super
building.
Thin layer. Yeah. There's no problem here.
Flimsy metal frame. You could kick through it.
But so that's when we get the glorious in shot of the movie. We get to see over the whole hamlet. Charlie's like, I think I can see my house from here.
Look, there's my school.
And I wanted to be like his house, his hovel.
Yeah, your shed that you live in.
And Willy Wonka is just breaking down like, yeah, the factory is yours. You can move your whole family in. I had to find a kid because an adult could never do it. Again, this is that moment where it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Now that we know that, what are the chances that only kids won these tickets? How did the man guarantee that? This is where it's creepy.
A little bit, but just magic. I'm always going to go back to magic for things I don't understand.
That's fine. But you gotta admit,
it is. It's super weird. You can't guarantee, because even in like the montage of everybody buying things, it's all adults doing it.
Well, and again, who has that kind of disposable income?
Yeah,
kids don't have that kind of disposable income.
Was he just counting on the good faith of the parents to hand the ticket over to children?
It's so crazy.
Yeah. There's no way you guarantee that you get 5 kids.
All right. And so as we're flying, one of the last moments that we'll get in the movie and that I definitely feel like we need to even talk about.
The very final line.
The final line. Charlie, don't forget what happened to the boy who got everything he ever wanted.
He lived happily ever after. And then we hug and credits. And we
Not even credits, man. Tiny little bit of pure imagination and then like whoever owned it at the time, done.
Yep, it's over. And I love this movie.
Yay, all right, guys. Well, that was that movie. It was good. The only thing we still need to do is our beer wrap up.
It's not bad. It's just wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
all that we got left to do is we're going to introduce the beer for next week. We got Country Boy Brewing Prime Directive. It's a double dry hopped New England style IPA this time.
All right. So again, everybody, don't forget this is a little bit of a game. This is where you're gonna guess. This was our clue. Our clue was Prime Directive,
and that's an easy one.
Now you got to figure out what movie.
Yeah.
We're watching,
Put it in the comments.
Or even what topic. This is one I'll give you that we might do a movie, but if you just guess the topic,
you still win.
You win because 100%
moral victory.
Yeah, definitely. But because there's a large list of movies that fit into this world.
At least 15.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
For October, we're gonna do nothing but
Halloween.
So
scary movies, horror movies, monster movies. You want to do monster movies?
Yeah, and anything that covers
spoopy things,
multiple of those categories. And
does Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein count?
I think that maybe we're going too far.
That's going too far? Okay, I'll take it off the list then.
All right.
Damn.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, I mean, that's it.
I think we're out.
All right. Let's go get some candy. Veronika's mom